Hello, I am at the park in Central Park. I am taking a day off of all of my human responsibilities to be with my YouTube audience today. I have had this podcast for 3 years and it has given me my voice, which we talked about in last week's episode. It has given me my strength. It has given me my energy. It has given me my gifts. It has given me my gift of word. And now I actually help people through my words and through my energy and through my presence and through my questions and through my insight and through how I am able to feel the deeper truth underneath what they are experiencing. So before we get started in today's episode, I just do a couple of grounding practices. I first take off all of my rings. I've got my snake with me today. I found her in Union Square. I've got my evil eye to protect my energy. I've got my husband's love. And I've got this one that I just picked up recently from Nordstrom because I liked it. I'm not sure if it has a significant story to it yet, but we shall see. Because I have 2 magical trips coming up this year. I am heading to Iceland next weekend, and I'm so excited to see what it feels like to be in the energy of this foreign land. And for me, land is like how I ground. Trees, grass, people. You know what, before I ground, let me just show you guys what I'm working with because it's so gorgeous. Okay, so we have people everywhere. We've got trees, birds, we've got the sunshine, and we've got big buildings as well. And I was so scared to move back to New York because the last time I was in New York, it was the start of my healing journey, and I spent so much time in Central Park getting out of my own head, getting out of my own way, asking God for answers, connecting with human nature and connecting with my own frequency. And I truly believe that all we are actually here to do is just remember who we are and who we came here as and why we do the things we do and why we don't want to do the things we don't want to do. Because for me, a lot of the people in my life were very materialistic and they had a lot of religion, but they didn't have a lot of faith. So maybe today we dive into the difference between religion and faith. But before we do, I'm going to just burn some Palo Santo to help awaken the senses and to dive more deeply into the truth. So in my headphones, I'm also listening to heart chakra meditation. We are heading into alignment. And every time I feel called to Central Park, I know that my soul is asking for attention. I know that it's time to put external stuff away and go deeper and tap within and just really feel energy and see what messages want to come through. Okay, so for me, religion is definitely something that allows you to connect to the higher power through an external source. Because in so many religions, in Islam, in Christianity, in Judaism, even in Hinduism, and even kind of in Buddhism, sort of, it's like, okay, you must go through someone or something else in order to access your own truth. So like we'll go to astrology, we'll go to human design, we'll go to mosque, temple, we'll go through priests and priestesses, and we'll go through textbooks that we read. We would go through personal development strategies that we think are the ones that are going to get us to the other side. And it's so frustrating because there is an other side. There is a place where you reach where you no longer feel anxious about upsetting others. You no longer feel worried about how you're perceived. You no longer feel like you have to grasp and control and strategize and just puts so much emphasis on the how, and all you really need to do, and I know people talk about this all the time in entrepreneurship, is like anchor into your why. And there's a reason, I truly believe there's a reason that entrepreneurship and spirituality are so interconnected. And it truly was a spiritual journey for me to like leave corporate, go into a creative entrepreneurial journey. Their success on their own terms. I hosted a beautiful book club with my friend Lindsay when I first moved here. And it was so grounding for me to connect with people that were like also questioning the traditional path. And to me, that's what religion represents, is like this traditional path. And like if that's your path, there's nothing wrong with that. Like just like the only thing that's wrong with it is when you try to like force other people onto the path that you have chosen for yourself. It's just like, why do we have to have this hierarchical system? And to me, that's the patriarchal system. And what I actually am feeling and creating and what I've been like living through is truly like, how can we all collaborate in our own magical gifts and inspire each other and evoke things in each other that you can't actually get from AI or a textbook or a church or somebody else, right? It's like this light that's within you. And to me, that's what faith is this like inner trust between who you say you are, who you think you are, who you act as. So those three are like the Holy Trinity in my world. Okay, the sun is definitely getting a little intense. So I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to shift a little bit over into more shade. So hold on, we're back. It was getting really hot in the sun. I truly do feel like there's so many spiritual people out there that are tapped into this like greater power and this like way of life of living on their own terms. But a lot of people also like are like, whoa, I could do anything. I can truly do anything. And then their ego kind of comes out and they're like, wait a minute, I can do anything. So let me hurt the people I love. And to me, that's the boundary. If what you want also aligns with hurting somebody, upsetting someone, taking, isn't reciprocal. And I think that's all this entire journey is, of karma, of energy work, of spirituality, where it's like just faith that there's consequences to our actions, words, and behaviors. And if you can live in your integrity and in your truth that I'm not hurting anyone, me wanting this is actually really good for others too, because the more I choose myself and break free, the more energy, capacity, ability I have to give to others. And it's like that Teddy Swims song is, if you want to save the world, start with yourself. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that you have to choose yourself first and foremost, and you must make yourself free and heal something that has been causing you to suffer in some way, shape, or form. And then transformation can occur. And once you have transformed, not into this like perfect version of you that's like perfectly skinny, perfectly gorgeous, perfect skin, no issues, zero chronic illnesses, zero moments of doubt or insecurity. Like, it's a checks and balances system constantly, every day. Love is a choice. We hear that a lot, and I believe that ascension is also a choice. And I believe that it's so much easier to let the external world distract you and keep you away if you allow it. And boundaries are an extremely important conversation, especially for empaths, because we really do just give because we want the world to be better. So we think if we keep giving our light, keep giving our love, keep giving our magic, hoping that somebody can heal or fix themselves, or heck, like even with their own stuff, right? It's like, okay, let me find the perfect ritual, practice, modality, methodology, book, podcast that unlocks the code for your growth and ascension. And it's kind of like, yes, and when you consume other people's stuff, are you doing that checks and balances system within you that allows you to stay rooted and grounded in your personal truth? I'm really excited for this next generation of healers and creatives and lovers Because if you can learn to love, like truly love another human being to the depths of their soul, like not just like physical attraction, compatibility, checklist, strategy, okay, this is good for our families, okay, this is good for my bank account, okay, this is good for my image, right? The whole performance-based love. I knew I felt this soul connection with my husband, but for so long I was stuck in trying to appease and to be perceived that I lost myself. And whenever I share my story about why I needed to live in my own apartment, and even though I was a married woman and we stayed married happily while we did this experience, people are baffled. They have so many questions. I'm invited to rooms to share my story, and I hold that story with such reverence. And that has become my testimony. But more importantly, I know that the whole point was to get to this point in my life where, guys, I made my highest income month of my entire career this month. And I'm working less than ever. I'm hanging out with people, I'm talking to people, I'm connecting with people, and I'm getting paid for it. I'm doing the things that I wasn't like able to do because I was stuck in like the system for so long, and now I just can. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It fucking sucks having to go through rock bottom in order to wake the fuck up and actually see like what matters and what doesn't matter. And the first time that happened to me was in 2018 when my grandmother passed away, and that was when I quit my corporate job, my 6-figure salary, blah, blah, blah. The head of HR at a tech startup, and we were like to the moon energy, which by the way, I still have a lot of, which is why I'm starting this tech app. But now I do it with this like grounding principle of like integrity, values, like good for humanity, good for the world. I'm still not perfect. Obviously, hello, like AI is definitely something that we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I have used AI to build this app, and that app uses AI to give people personalized somatic practices to help them stay in the body and ground in the moment and not lose themselves in their mind and the stories and the trauma and the wounds that we get stuck in, so that we can actually stay rooted and connected and centered and then connect with others. My whole philosophy is about, in order to connect deeply with others, we must regulate, we must know how to regulate, we must know how to stay centered in the body. Not perfect, not calm, not nice, not sweet, not kind. Yes, kind, and speaking our truth is not mean. Setting boundaries is not mean. The people that are actually mean are the people that you keep forgiving because they are literally after your heart and your soul. And as much as like the spiritual community wants to be like, oh, we're all one. Yeah. I mean, I know exactly what person in my life has shown me about myself. And if it weren't for that person, I would not be who I am today. And I wouldn't be somebody who like knows my voice, had to figure out a way to express myself truly and authentically without this safety net of like my family and, you know, my husband and another human being. And that was like the greatest grief I ever had to experience. And that was like my rock bottom. And without a rock bottom, it's just so much harder. And I don't know if that's true, and I don't want that to be true. And I don't want human beings to suffer so much in order to be free. I just don't like that. That's not like registering in my system, in my mind, in my body, in my soul as the only ultimate truth. And that's why I still connect. I still sit in nature and I'm like, okay, are there any messages that want to come through for me? Is there any insight? Is there any guidance? I'm continuously devoting myself to continue learning and growing and evolving. And I truly believe that the people that are the most connected are the ones that stay the most humble. And I think it's a really good thing to anchor into and use as a discernment, where it's like the checks and balances system that I was mentioning earlier. It's like, is this person in integrity with who they say they are? Are they responsible for their own happiness? Are they taking action? Or are they just complaining? Are they like able to heal, grow, move on, and take forward momentum action towards the life that they want to see, the life they want to create? And some people can't, and that's okay, right? Some people's nervous systems are just really, really shot. Something must have happened to them that like no one knows about because they never shared their truth and they continue to suppress it within. But all somebody needs in order to truly deeply heal is like to stop holding it in and to just share it and express it with another human being and to have it witnessed and received with love and care. I have a goal and a desire to just do like 10 to 15 minute riffs when I'm grounding if messages come through. So I'm not pigeonholing myself into a weekly consistent routine. If it happens, it happens. And if not, I'm honoring the messages as they come through and sharing as they do, and not worrying about an algorithm, and trusting that me putting this out into the world is putting out the frequency that I'm here to share, and then I get to receive in whatever way the universe wants to hand me my blessing. And as much as I get annoyed at New York for being so dirty and for being so loud, guys, we didn't sleep all night long because there was construction happening starting at like 7 a.m. So I'm gonna end it right there. I love you guys so much. I'll see you.